I think I'm gonna try and build a tank in my garage. I think that this all started when I saw this random YouTube video and it had the most clickbait thumbnail I've ever seen of this dude just doing some like Mr. Beast gasp in front of a Photoshop tank that looked nothing like what they actually built in the video. The video in question, it's more like they put together like a go-kart kit and strapped literal trash to it. I decided I wanted to make a near full-size tank in my garage, and the tank I wanted to build is a version of the M4 Sherman tank, which is going to be all electric, and it's going to have tank-like controls without actually having tank treads. Starting this project, I needed to research, so I read up on the M4 Sherman and its history, and I also made a parts list as well. I decided on the tank dimensions and also drew it out. I made a spreadsheet to easily be able to calculate the capabilities of the tank. I then went to meet my uncle, who is a mechanical engineer, and he happened to have a MIG and TIG welder as well as an angle grinder. I had learned a basic understanding on how to use a welder and also got to use an angle grinder for the first time. And after all that, I decided I was really just liking MIG because it was a lot faster than TIG, and it was also cheaper looking at what welders there were for each type of welding. I then got an angle grinder from Harbor Freight for $40, and everyone I talked to said I should have gotten a Miller welder because it was just a lot more reliable, and if I wanted to get some like Chinese brand, it was probably just gonna fall apart really easily, and if it broke, you're pretty much screwed. But I decided with the price tag that came with a Miller welder, it'd be best to just get a cheaper welder, so eventually we settled on an Eastwood welder, and thanks to my dad being super stoked about this whole project, he purchased all the stuff I would need. Soon, a cart to hold the welder and gas cylinder arrived, as well as the welder. We then went to a local metal supply store and got some 5-foot lengths of steel tubing. Then we got a metalworking blade for a chop saw so that we could cut metal. And for this project, I'm going to be using 1x1 inch steel square tubing as well as 1x2 inch tubing. And I practiced angle grinding, and we cut 1-foot lengths off each piece of tubing with the chop saw. And then a box with gloves, a helmet, and a fiberglass blanket to protect the floor came in the mail. And at this point, the only thing we were waiting on was a gas cylinder that had been ordered. Though we didn't have the gas yet, the welder came with some solid wire, so I was able to practice feeding it into the tip of the welder. After all that, I'm pretty excited for this project. I have high hopes, to be honest. So I'm just gonna wait for the cylinder to arrive, and then I'm gonna start welding.